And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another night of ESA Cup. Tonight, we're going to have two wonderful matches, and my name is Bozemax. And today, I'm accompanied by someone brand new to the face of ESA, and that's Nash. Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. I will say I haven't casted Console Siege before, but I would love to partake in the opportunity. So, who are the teams that are going to be playing today?
Well, let's just bring up the schedule to accompany that visual or like that information. So today, every single night, we originally were supposed to have three matches, but just like the previous week, the first match was going to be Team Synergy Esports Club and versus Odessa. But unfortunately, Team Synergy has decided to forfeit today's match and every upcoming match. They basically forfeited the tournaments in that case, and therefore that first match was a free win for Odessa and has been cancelled. So, we have two matches coming up for today. Kanji Esports versus Eagle Empire and Pyra by Manchef Esports versus Team Misclick. So, two beautiful matches, if you ask me. And, that's two beautiful matches for today.
I mean, I was saying to you just before the cast, I have a little bit of an affiliation with Eagle Empire, sort of like knowing a little bit about their team and the way they sort of structure themselves. So hopefully, as long as they follow a similar sort of strat book to what I've seen, I could be able to explain the things that are going on quite thoroughly. But if we, do you want to cover anything else?
Yeah, sure. That's there's one thing we can bring up, of course. That's the current standings. This is, of course, a combined visual for both Group A and B. As you can see already, Team Synergy already has been updated. All their upcoming forfeits have already been recorded, and therefore also the few free wins that have been given through that. The lucky teams in that case were Odessa, Team Misclick, and Kanji, as Pyra and Eagle Empire already played against them before, so no free win for them this case. But still, as both of these teams won anyway, still win.
Say played.
Yeah, like it's still a win for them. The only difference, the only little lucky one here in this case would be Eagle Empire, who did play 3-7 against them, and therefore didn't get that kind of round difference advantage. But that's just a small minor detail, and that's something you shouldn't be too worrying about too much. Well, for today, of course, we're going to have a beautiful match. And as usual, we do our little Twitter prediction where you viewers get the chance to actually cast your vote and let us know who you think is going to be winning. And oh boy, that's a big one. 81% for Kanji versus 19% for Eagle Empire. Wow.
All right, well, it looks pretty... I think someone's the favorite. I'm gonna put it that way. Either way, though, we have to do our own caster predictions. And I'm going to fight against the crowd. I'm going to say 7-5 in favor of Eagle Empire.
Okay, wow. Sorry, 7-5 you're saying?
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be an overtime.
Okay, that's good. That's an interesting one because, like in general, like Eagle Empire is a team that we already know for a bit of time. They have been in previous seasons of ESA. They have been running like lots of different cups. They're a pretty old organization already, running for a few years. But in general, the PlayStation team, especially the last year or so, they have just kind of been struggling a bit. I mean, they have been getting into the competitions. They always kind of were like in the halfway the group, usually just barely making it into the next stage or barely not making it into the next stage. And that's usually where they about end, like kind of like 50-50, like halfway the standings of the competition they're in. So therefore, Eagle Empire, I mean, they have been doing a bit better this season so far, and I'm very curious to see how things will go from here. But there's also one fun thing. I mean, Kanji is a bit of a newer team, but generally is doing pretty well. But one of the fun thing is that within the RSX competition, which is a different PlayStation or console competition, actually, these two teams did play against each other there as well. Was on Team Park, was back in May somewhere, and there it was a win for Kanji with a 7-5 score on Team Park. So that's an interesting one to keep in mind in this case. And maybe for that reason, I also understand why people are in this case siding with Kanji, the 81%. But I mean, this is going to be the second match against each other. There's plenty of chances that Eagle Empire will do much better. That they just had a bad day back then, and that they will do better this time. It will be a rematch, so I'm very excited to see how this will go. Well, before we will hop into this match for today, let's just take a quick look on which map we're going to be playing. Nash, what do you think?
Well, this map has been played once in this league, and it's very difficult to really gauge sort of like whether it's going to be defender sided or whether it's going to be attacker sided, etc., etc. You can follow the general sort of consensus and say that look, it's going to be defender sided at least a little bit, but so far on the statistics, it is 70% defender sided. But it was one game that was 7-3. So it's 10 rounds. 7 of those rounds were defenders, 3 were attack. So it's difficult to gauge, really. But one thing we do know is Villa is one of the staple maps of Siege at the moment. And when it comes down to staple maps of Siege, you've got maps like Cafe, Oregon, Clubhouse, and Villa. They're like your 4, maybe Sky as well, but Sky was like removed and then brought back, and it's a bit of a weird one. But if you consider just like those 4, they're the 4 maps that you expect people to understand if you're going to go into them competitively. And if you've already got competitive experience, then you're going to be on a pretty decent playing field as is. So moving into a match like this, where sure, you've got a team like Eagle Empire that has been struggling, but look at T1 teams. T1 teams struggle all the time.
Of course.
So it's like you've got these teams that are struggling, and you've got a team that has beaten Eagle Empire in the past. But as a whole, both of these teams should be on a relatively even playing field going into a map like this. So I think that it really just depends on whether Eagle Empire can pull out their attacks in the first half and be able to actually bring themselves to a little bit of a lead, or even a 3-3 split going into the first half.
Yeah, indeed, because like the last times we saw Eagle Empire play, I mean, we have seen them play on Team Park in the previous season quite a bit. We've seen them play on Chalet earlier this season as well, and previous season, and those were a bit of the better maps. And it almost seems like Kanji might have studied them a little bit. I mean, both Chalet and Team Park were banned by that team. On the side of Kanji, I'm not super familiar at the moment with their best maps, but for now, Villa is going to be an interesting one. They haven't played this one against each other before. And well, that's going to be an interesting one. We're just waiting for the players to be ready. I believe we have just one more team to confirm that they're actually ready to go. And then we can jump into this first match for today, after which we'll have one more later on. But yeah, for now, we have a bit of time to cover for now. Let's just bring back those standings, because if you just take another look at the standings, it's Eagle Empire. They of course have played one less match. It has to do with the forfeit from Synergy, so they still have some room here to still climb the ladder a little bit for their group. While Kanji already has 3 on the record, and will be looking to have a 4th match recorded. But both teams so far doing decent. I mean, Eagle Empire is currently on the 5th spot, and just one will will easily put them back up towards the 3rd or 4th spot, which is of course what they're looking for, because they.
Well, sorry, I just want to add to your point something that I have brought up many times in other leagues that I cast, and etc. But something that I will bring up again is none of these teams at the moment are in a position where they're out of harm's way.
Yeah.
So even a team like Eagle Empire, let's say like Pyrrha, top of the tables, plus 10 round difference, they lose 7-0 today, right? Or like on whatever their next game is. They lose 7-0. They stay where they are. They've got 6 points, but they're down 7 rounds. Eagle Empire win theirs 7-5. They go up 2 more rounds on their round difference, and they get 3 points, which boosts them to 7, or like 2 points, depending on how the point system works. But they gain points either way, and they can overtake. And if they overtake like this week, for example, and as I said, they're not out of harm's way from even a team like Eagle Empire that's currently in 5th. So it's like you look at these sort of scorelines at the moment, and you think that Eagle Empire can take the lead, Pyrrha can drop down exponentially, and from that point, everyone's battling to try and overtake Eagle Empire again.
Yeah, indeed. That means that there are both great opportunities and great risks for both teams. It can still go either way, but as the map is now loading in, we can start with this first match of today. Villa, the beautiful map in Tuscany, Italy, is just loading in right now as the players are connecting to this match. And then anytime soon, we'll start with the operator band phase for this first match, with Kanji on Team Blue as the defending team and Team Eagle Empire as the attacking team, as Team Orange.
I reckon we're saying Knock get put in the bin. Knock and Thatcher. They're my 2 predictions. If they go for Thatcher first, they're gonna bring a hard breach. They're gonna have a hard breach ban on the opposite side. There's Knock. If they go for Knock, it's gonna be Thatcher.
Yeah, Nook indeed an operator we tend to see quite often, like in general, but also within ESA. So it's not too much of a surprise. The question is, what will be the next one? If you're saying it will be the Thatcher, it could very much be. The Thatcher ban rate luckily has dropped quite significantly since we have seen the secondary EMP nades being introduced. But
fair enough. Jackal.
Yeah, completely understandable.
Another good one. One that I'm well, there's one that we expect to see banned. That's Solace. Solace has been banned 77% of the time, 17 times in this league so far. But the other one that I expect to see, the second ban, is I'm almost 90% sure going to be Mirror or I was going to say Mirror or Azami, but it was actually Fenrir. Because Mirror and Azami are two like stupidly powerful operators on this map in particular. And they're two that can really turn the tide. So realistically, they might opt away from the Solace here, even though Solace can be stupidly powerful as well. And they might go for that Mirror or Azami. Mirror is the bigger threat here, I think. There she is.
Yeah, indeed. Mira is a great one. Another one you could potentially mention is Valkyrie, one that's commonly picked on the map as Villa and sees a fairly high success rate in the map as Villa. But for now, these are the operator bans and the operators we won't be seeing for this match. And now we can proceed into the match where, like I said already before, it's Kanji on the defense and Eagle Empire on the offense.
We don't have much synergy on these teams, as Pengu would say. They've all got different card backgrounds apart from a couple. They were just using the standard grey ones, but we move. We have got a little bit of an Azami setup on the defensive side. The Azami more than likely is going to be placing a few keepers in the steady area, trying to create a lot of contention around there, because you can set up multiple barricades along one line that have all different sidelines, and it's just an overall very, very good way of holding it.
Yeah, indeed. And as we're seeing also a little bit of an extension towards the northern side of the map. Currently, two players reinforcing the study area and creating the statue area, creating some rotations to just further strengthen their defense. Waste a lot of time on the side of the attacking team, and therefore try to hold them back as long as possible. Leave as little bit of time remaining, and potentially even get some picks to make the attack of Team Eagle Empire even more difficult, as they will near the bomb site with little time remaining.
Yeah, on the attacking side right now, they're just putting cams over an Astro side. What they want to try and do is they want to clear out this trophy Astro. They want to clear out, well, specifically Astro first. Once they've cleared out Astro, this Mozzie that's playing behind the desk is going to be a threat, but they're going to have more than likely a person go up onto the window, a person go into bathroom, a person go into closet, and then at that point, they've got to deal with the Legion as well. So as we see Ash make her way into closet, she is going to be firing some shots over at the Legion, and not really a lot happening. Mozzie gets thrown out, decides to run away, and it was Oryx. Sorry, not Legion. I'm stupid. I saw the T5. He does opt to run away, and now there's pretty much full contention. They're going to give it a quick drone through anyway, but they've got full contention of this side of the map, and they're going to be trying to go for some sort of backside push, whether it be open vault, make their way down the 90 corridor in order to take light pressure into study from the other side. But at that point, you've got to get past the bar door. But the Oryx playing below on red stairs is going to be a big threat.
Yeah, indeed. That's one of the things you need to worry about. They will need to drone him out and make sure he cannot just go for that easy flank that he will be looking for. Meanwhile, Rush is one of the operators who can actually make some of that happen with his cameras that he can place. As a zero, he can easily watch the flank a little bit better for his team. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Even a Frost Trap being spotted out on that red stairs, that's going to be a useful one to know about. But for now, it's Natix, the first attacker, to actually go for full contest. We see we see C4 coming down from below. That's Fazon with the first kill there on Skittle, and there's another kill there going to the side of Natix. There's two attackers taken out in a very short amount of time, and that's through the Dronal, even the Frost playing in the vault, taking out another, and that's a 5 versus 3.
The nade coming through, unable to find the frag as he nearly gets another through the toes. The Iana going to be rotating back over to red stairs. More than likely, she wants to see if she can pressure out any of these players that are going to be going for a flank, but everybody else is full turtle on site, apart from this Mozzie that's playing below.
Yeah, currently the attack is spreading out a little bit. Zeri trying to relocate towards the study site to go for a different approach, but unfortunately he's being spotted up by Utes, gets damaged there a little bit, and even his breaching charge getting destroyed. And therefore his surprise attack unfortunately will not work any longer. Attack is a little bit stretched out, just looking for different approaches. Luckily, the Zero does have that secondary hard breaching utility to just go for the breach onto the vault to make things a little bit easier. But for now, with 25 seconds on the clock, it's going to be a very difficult round for them to win.
Opening up the vault wall there alleviates the pressure from that side, and now you know that the Frost is going to have moved, so he pushes through on the map site, manages to get all the way through and kill the Azami that's going to be playing around in Study, and this player behind bar now is going to be the biggest threat as he makes his way through, dies to Zeri, and now they're going to be running the Frost straight through. 1v3 from this 3v5 here, as now we're going to be looking at Jaeger, Gold Kanji looking to try it, or Gold just trying to get everything done on the back of one man.
Yeah, oh boy, how the tables have turned. Suddenly it's a 1 versus 3 situation with an attacker advantage and the diffuser planted. Gold, however, does make things a little bit more possible as he takes out Zeri, turns things into 1 versus 2, but there's Rush hiding right behind the bomb canister, takes out Gold, and wins the round for Eagle Empire, putting the first point on their side. 0-1 for Eagle Empire.
Yeah, very admirable by Eagle Empire there. Specifically Zeri on the side of Eagle Empire. One thing that I spotted from him in that round was the fact that once they went down to that 3v5 situation, a lot of teams would get a bit panicked, a bit tentative, they'd slow down, they'd stalemate, whereas Zeri tried to make his way in through maps to try and give his team, like, force an opening for his team, which is something you don't really see often in Siege. But as he managed to get his way all the way through on the map room, managed to get the Azami frag, and then managed to get himself in a position to be able to get Frost as well, or not Frost, whoever it was that was rotating through before, managing to get them as well is a very big deal, because now you've equaled it out to a 3v3, you've got someone covering your planter, the plant's going down behind the vault door, and you've secured the round.
Yeah, indeed. And unfortunately, the defending team Kanji unfortunately wasn't successful on their first attempt. They're just gonna try to go for a second time. The same bomb site with a similar sort of setup. This time, at least the Solus will be in play. An operator that wasn't picked the previous round, and often is banned, so we don't get to see her that often yet. And for now, we hopefully will see her in action a little bit. But nothing we'll see in action is the observation blocking tool that we did see the previous round as well. That has making a pretty nice appearance on ESA so far, and does prove to be useful.
Yeah, very, very useful, especially in a competitive context. If you look at it in a situation of like ranked or something like that, it could be a little bit more questionable to bring unless you're playing a specific strategy. But in the context of competitive, it is very, very good because you're forcing them to use their utility to drone out an area to put themselves in a certain position. But Scribs manages to get a beautiful peek onto the closet door as Ash goes for another aggressive play into the closet in order to open things up in bedroom for his team.
Yeah, meanwhile, Solar is just trying to approach from the other side. Is going to be playing on the backstairs and can easily rotate himself towards Astronomy and fight any defender unaware. But unfortunately, his position seems to be known, and it's another kill coming from Scripps, taking out Solar. It's again 2 different attackers losing their life pretty early on, just like the previous rounds. But last time, it was Eagle Empire managed to work things around. The question is, will they be able to do this again?
And this time with a different lineup. Last time they had Solars instead of Nat, but instead they're going to be running it anyway. They're moving through. Buck's just throwing some flashbangs over the wall just to see if he can catch anyone out, but the Solace has already fallen all the way back to red stairs. The man who's got 2 kills on his back for the round is going to be in a position to try and find some more, but Mozzie steals away the ace as he takes that 1 frag for himself in Noni Corridor. There's going to be a little bit of pressure coming through. If you'd like to carry on. Solace goes down.
Yeah, indeed. The British gets to a 4 versus 2 situation with still Natives and Rush alive. Luckily, they managed to fight the first. That's finally an annoying Solus taken care of, but there's still a lot of other people to worry about. Still double the amount of people alive on the defensive side, and they will need to at least get 1 kill each to even things out. As Natives throws a flashback, Flashback himself is still does find the injury, but unfortunately, no, there's the Mozzie still playing there, gets the kill, but Rush finishes things off. The Frost is still injured at the moment, but behind the deployment shield, but with an insane flick, Rush finds the kill, turns things into a 2 versus 1 with the Frost still injured. So technically, it's a 1 versus 1, and this is suddenly very clutchable for the side of Eagle Empire. Will they do it again? Will they turn the 5 versus 3 into a win once more, or will Rush be taken out by Utes?
They don't quite know where the other is as they make their way through. The crosshair placement's perfect, but doesn't find it. The reaction time isn't there, and Jutes finds the kill, securing 1 round for his team, equalizing 1 to 1. I couldn't speak English for a second.
It's that's the thing. Like it's a 1 versus 1 score. It's getting very equal between these two teams. Even though, like, especially from us through the community side, the players, sorry, the viewers really seem to be siding with the side of Kanji. Luckily, things are for now starting very equally, and that's exactly what I'm hoping to see in this case. But for now, oh boy, how close did the Empire get again? Like to close out a to turn a 5 versus 3 into a win. They got so close.
Yeah, it's
Attackers have located a bomb.
You could look at it in two different ways. You could look at it as, oh, Eagle Empire are playing well. Yeah, sure. Like Rush seems to be playing amazingly at the moment. But when it comes down to the team play as a whole, the team plays there. Like Skittle, as much as he's been like jumping into the closet, dying, whatever, it's like he's been allowing his team that space. Like he's been pressuring enough for his team to be able to walk forward. And that's something a lot of people don't consider, like the impact of a player during a game. And when it comes down to the opposite side, all of their players are doing pretty okay. Whereas, like, on Eagle Empire's side, they've got 2 with 0 kills and blah, blah, blah. It's the impact over anything else. The kills they've got on the side of Kanji are relatively useless. Pointless picks on players like Skittle, for example. And they've also got situations where their operators are caught out alone or like out of position. Like the fact that we were able to push all the way through 90 corridor with a flashbang on 0 and get a kill, or not on 0, on Ace and get a kill, and then 0 managed to clean up the second is going to be like absolutely weird. Like it's crazy, but that should never happen.
No, indeed. And as we now starting with the third round, it seems that the defenders are going for a very clear top hold, but as the pressure is actually very, very minimal. The defenders are already seemingly falling back downstairs. Not even a single bit of damage done on their side, but already giving up this top floor control, which is a very interesting thing if you ask me. But for now, the attackers will get top control, which you can use very well to create some verticality, to make it very difficult to play on side, open up those hatches, and just put lots of pressure. But Zeri, unfortunately, getting injured as he was seemingly hopping outside, maybe from below, maybe some verticals have been made. Yeah, it seems like it. Aljo Meister the mute playing right below him, getting the injured.
There is a castle in the basement.
And this way, Zeri has been revived.
Attackers recovered the.
That is. I don't know how to explain it other than schizo. That is a crazy spot that he's got right there. He's got his castle barricade set up on the cellar stairs, or on the basement stairs, in order to be able to take any engagements on some people's toes as Skittle drops down into the main area and gets found by Scripps, but Scripps gets found the other way by Rush.
Yeah, so you need a nice trade of nice refrag there. It's now 4 versus 4 situation, but Zeri still very low in HP. Already finds himself in launching from where he's in a very good position to potentially go for a breach, but it might just be that the Mute Jump has been placed there, which is not allowing him to go for the breach yet. So first he needs to wait for his teammates to take care of it. As the Buck is still playing upstairs, he's in a very good position to do so.
It's exactly as I said previous though, like, at the moment, yes, Skittle just jumped down and immediately died, but the fact that he had a player down there for his team already, and they were already looking for him, allowed them to just get the refrag. Like, as much as he died, wasted his life, whatever, he's given his team space, he's made, he's allowed them to get a pick, equalize the player count. Obviously, Zeri going down isn't ideal, but Nat finds one more anyway, and now it's going to be a 3v3 anyway. He's going to be pushing out into the corridor. Goes down, unfortunate for him.
Yeah, luckily Natix is able to even things out, bring things back to even 2 versus 2. Is inside of the bomb, inside of the building, but unfortunately his teammate went to diffuser, gets taken out. It's all coming out of Natix with only 8 seconds on the clock. He needs to find 2 because the diffuser that's just not going to work at this point. Finds 1 potentially, but in the end, no, it's Fazon with the kill there on Natix, winning the second round of the third round of this match to the side of Kanji, putting the score on 2-1.
Very much so, as Kanji have managed to secure themselves a second round. They're starting to gain themselves a lead here. They've got a bit of momentum. So, realistically, what Eagle Empire want to do here, in my opinion, is you would play out this round, and because obviously this is your half, yes, maybe if you trust, like, the defensive half for yourself a bit more, then you could save it. But I'd say after this round, if Kanji come out with a win, get them with a pause of some kind, just rekindle yourself, try and talk it over, get your momentum back, and start firing on all cylinders. Because at the moment, you're falling behind a little bit. You're still playing the same way. You just need a little bit more oomph to the way you're playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just also quickly just taking a look here at the map bans, how they were done. It seems like that Kanchi actually did pick the defense side as their favorite side for to start off.
Yeah.
But the same thing goes for Eagle Empire. Once we hit the overtime, we
10
would
seconds
see
left
them
before
start as the
insertion.
defending team as well. So it clearly seems like the Eagle Empire prefers to play
5
as the
seconds to
defending
go.
team instead of the attacking team. And if they will be able to get at least 2 or potentially even 3
Attackers
rounds
are
out of it,
moving
they
out
will
to
be in a
locate a
very
bomb
good
and
position
defuse
towards the
it.
second half of this match. But for now, there's still a bit of work to be done.
Attackers
Finally,
have
the
dropped the bomb
Valkyrie is
diffuser.
making her first
Attackers have recovered their
appearance.
diffuser.
One of the operators that I pointed out during the battle phase that we do tend to see quite a bit on a map like Villa, as we will see for this round as well.
What was the other map she was known for? It was like Villa and Cafe, right?
Cafe, she's very, very
She
strong.
was
Yes.
like
Yes.
the Cafe demon. That's what I remember hearing. I remember like every time they played Cafe on BDS, they would always just put Shaiko on the Valk and let him run around, go wild. It
Well,
was
yeah. Well, meanwhile, the first bit of attackers of the side of Eagle Empire are making their way inside of the building. Unfortunately, Mozzie Pass is not allowing them to drone any further. But Solar, so Diana, can easily scout ahead using her hologram to just find a little bit of information ahead. The Mozzie does get spotted out, but unfortunately, Skittle is not able to respond on it on time and doesn't get the kill. But Alchemize with the first kill on Solars and the second on Natix. That's again 2 Eagle Empire's members taken out very early on in the round. And again, we end up in a 5 versus 3 situation with still more than 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining.
a little bit unfavorable for the side of Eagle Empire, but once again, for what, the 4th round in a row, they're in a position where they're 5v3.
Yeah, I think only the last round was a round where this situation didn't happen. For now, this is the 3rd time. And I think just continue to go down south as Adjomisa gets a kill there on Skidder. It's a 5 versus 2 situation right now, with only Zeri and Rush remaining. The Ace and the Nomads can still do some damage, but they need to be very, very effective from now on. There's still a lot of defenders very close in the proximity, and I will see any gunfight happening very soon.
Yeah, they need to work together here, isolate these players in 2 1v1s, but obviously now with Zoe goes down, they're going to be left with Rush left to clutch up, manages to find one, get C4 from below, and that's going to be round over.
That's indeed run over, and that's 1 more point going to the side of Kanji. Kanji currently on a 3-round win streak, and therefore also a 3-1 score. So Kanji doing well, at least getting those 3 rounds on the boards. It will be lovely for them if they can actually get a 4th, and they have done well on the first half. But for now, there's still 2 more rounds to be played. And the question is, will we still see Eagle Empire try to make a bit of a comeback and try to secure some rounds to make their the other half of this match a little bit easier for them, or will they continue to go down with the ship?
Yeah, more than likely at the moment, Eagle Empire, something's going wrong. They need to adapt in some way, shape, or form. And at the moment, by the looks of things, it looks to me like Skittle, Solars, when they're going for these sort of entry plays, they're not being droned enough. Obviously, there was the Mozzie Pest that was in the way before. Realistically, there's a lot of ways to fix that and deny it and things like that. But at the moment, they're going in and they're not really noticing like mistakes that are going on or things that are sort of unfolding for them, like problems that they're having. And it's the lack of adaptation that I think is kind of ruining them at the minute. So hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more droning from them, a little bit more of a methodical play style, because at the moment they're a bit too guns blazing.
Yeah, that's indeed what it seems like. Eagle Empire, like, just one of the things, if they can just manage somehow to get the opening kills instead of getting opening killed and just at least stay alive a bit longer, I do expect them to do a lot better towards the end of the round as well. I still have more people available for those executes, but for now it's really up to them to just make the entry. Skidder is already one of the first to enter the building, currently playing inside of living room together with the Natix, who's playing as the Buck, of course. Thank you. That's the one I was looking for, Buck. And but they're just making the first bit of control here, just trying to get some verticality going to just disrupt the defense from below. But so far, nothing too much happening yet.
Yeah, we've got the Nomad and the Buck below. The Nomad, well, pretty much everyone below, but the Nomad and the Buck in particular playing together because Buck wants to try and make angles and Nomad wants to keep him safe as he does. They almost see a player there shooting through the floor. Gold is going to be extremely weak, as now they're going to be in a position where they've got to try and take these 1v1s. Algemeister manages to find one onto Rush, and that's going to be the ideal player you want to go for if you're going to go for anybody on Eagle Empire, especially considering he's 7-4.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Eagle Empire was hoping for downstairs. I didn't manage to find that much, but luckily, finally, the sledge does find the first. Agile Mice has taken off the board. We got a kill earlier on the Nomad. So now back to 4 versus 4. A little bit of backfiring as well from here, from upstairs. Jaeger shooting back in the direction towards the attackers below. Also doing a bit of damage, not getting a kill yet. But as the time proceeds, goes on, Fazal managed to rotate back downstairs, takes out Natix, retakes the position the attackers have been playing in so long, and even Scripps. Even Scripps rotated downstairs to take out another attacker to get the kill on Skid. And right now it's only Zeri and Soros left standing in this 4 versus 2.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about the dog. Someone set off the dogs over the road. Alright, anyway, they're going to be moving in through study. They've got the player over on study side in order to create some sort of distraction for the players that are going to be moving through, but he's the only one left alive anyway, so he moves through, manages to kill the Solace, and now he's going to be rotating over into 90. He has enough health to be able to win out this clutch if he just plays it correctly. There's going to be 3 players left alive on the defending side. Opening up Vault now is the ace, as he wants to try and take a little bit of a... or wants to try and isolate this Azami a little bit more, get him out of position, manages to see him through the couch, gets that frag, but the C4 from below secures that kill, and that is going to be another round for Kanji.
Yeah, I'm raising some question marks. I'm raising some question marks for the start of the round for Eagle Empire. There's just so much focus from below, but not really finding anyone. Just a little bit of damage done, but besides that, they didn't achieve anything. And they stayed there for way over a minute, and just letting the defenders rotate back downstairs and put some pressure on the attackers below as well. Yeah, maybe...
the biggest issue in my opinion is remaining downstairs and having your flank watch be awful enough for them to flank 2 players behind you from 2 different directions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, either way, Eagle Empire just 1 more round remaining before the World Cup, so 1 more round for them to attack and 1 more round for Kanji to play in the defending team. Ideally, we'll see Eagle Empire at least take 1 more round to turn things into 4 versus 2, which still can work out in each favor as we proceed towards as we see the World Cup happen. But for now, it's really up to Eagle Empire to get their stuff together and just do better.
Indeed it is. As we're looking at the scoreline at the moment, it's looking like a little bit of a repeat of their previous matchup where Kanji did, in fact, win. Obviously, this was quite a while ago, as you spoke about before the game. Yeah. But it's still, like, obviously, it's nowhere near as close at the moment, but it could end up going to that same sort of fate if Eagle Empire aren't ready to pick up the pace here. They've managed to... They've decided to opt towards going on the Thinker, and on console, from what I know, the LMG recoil is a little bit more forgiving, so hopefully they'll be able to really do something here. They have got the sledge ready. They're going to be going for a rush play, and I'll let you take over, Bozmax, but here we go.
Indeed, it's a 5 vs 5 rush moment here from Eagle Empire, something that we classically tend to see from them. Gonstix ready in hand to go hop in, and it's Diana's the first, but she gets taken out. But Solos with a kill there on Just, and Fast with a kill. Solos rush with a kill there on Gold. It just goes and kills each side after side. Ajum is with a kill on Rush, Zeri with a kill on Fazon, and Ajum is with another one on Zeri. It's 2 versus 1, and the Scripps finds Zeri. This round is lost by Eagle Empire. The rush did not succeed, and it's Kanji adding their 5th point to the boards, putting a 5-1 score, which will now go to the roll swap. And Kanji will be playing as the attacking team from now on, and Eagle Empire as the defending team.
It was an extremely impressive attempt. The attempt that they went for, the idea behind it, the way they executed it was genuinely pretty good. The only thing they didn't account for was like the rotates that they had and things like that. They weren't able to quickly adapt to that player that was going to be playing close to the door, near that rotate into the basement. So they were a bit unsure about that, and I think the panic that kind of went through Diana sort of caught them off a little bit, and genuinely could have gone better if they were a little bit more prepared. And obviously that time they took to prepare as well, they could have had the Thinker on drone, because the Thinker was going to be the second one in anyway. And it's like, there's just little situations like that once again where realistically you don't need to have your finger ready to push that joystick forward and start going. You can take that second to have to come off your drone without sacrificing any time.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, it's a classic move from Eagle Empire, which they tend to do quite often, and maybe this is also one of the reasons maybe why Kenji was able to read into it a little bit better. I mean, like I said, it's a classic Eagle Empire move. They have done it many times before, and therefore it could eventually get a bit predictable.
Yeah. The main sort of like effectiveness behind the drones is the fact that you can see where they are without them knowing where you're coming from, but you're not droning enough, so they know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, and something so the Eagle Empire doesn't seem to know what they're doing is that it's Kanji already getting the first bit of side control very early on. Two attackers already, however, lost their life as Edgermeister finally gets his first kill by taking out Rush. But still, the side control is established. Jutz is thinking to go for the defuse, but in the end, decides to stop for now. Is this the Kanji Rush also not working out? It seems so. It's gonna get the kill. Nate is gonna kill. It's all coming out of Jutz, who is playing in a 1 versus 4 situation. He is stuck in a pantry. He will likely be taken out very soon. He will be trapped. He is surrounded. Gets 1 kill. But unfortunately, he cannot get any further, and it's gonna take out Jutz. And that's a second rush in a very short amount of time from 2 different teams, and neither of them managed to succeed.
Yeah. That neither of them managed to succeed on that rush. They both rushed from 2 different sides. As I was saying before that happened, yeah, using your utility to give yourself information on a situation that is unfolding before you is exactly why the drones are there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment, I feel like obviously we haven't seen Kanji really take the attacking side. But now they're on the CT side, they're going to be showing off their sort of utility work and the way they sort of like position themselves around their drones and use their intel. I was going to say intelligence as well as intel, but either way, using their intel to be able to establish what they want to go for. And that's something we didn't see enough of from Eagle Empire. And ironically, we're seeing them play Echo. So
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, interestingly, we're seeing a very creative setup here from the side of Eagle Empire. We're going to see some bit of downstairs control right below the bomb site, right below the master bedroom, where I'm currently Rush and Natives are both playing. Reinforcements, Mute Jammers, and Castle Barricades to assist their hold, and like it all has to do with some verticality that they will try to use. There's the C4, of course, on the board for the mutes. There's the Echo drone, they're getting gather information, and potentially this way they hope to get some kills from below and also try to slow down the attackers as much as possible. But maybe a second rush? Really?
Oh, not another one.
It's happening.
Oh no!
Zeri is ready for them, finds 2, but then Jutz finally takes a Zeri in his killing spree, leaves things in the 3 versus 4. It almost seems like the rush is now being called off. Algermeister, however, on the other side of the building now, trying to get close to one of the players, which is gonna finds him, takes out Diva Mai. It's an equal 3 versus 3, which can really go either way from this moment, but I think not a single attacker is inside of the building except Algermeister at the moment, so he will need to slow down. At least that will be advised. From here, he will be able to potentially regroup with his teammates and go for a second approach. But at least the rush went more successful so far. They managed to get out alive and managed to get some kills. It's a 3 versus 3, but where things can still go either way.
See, the good thing in favor of Kanji is the fact that the players they've kept alive a Finker, which is statistically their strongest entry target. They've kept alive their ace, which is your hard breacher, your utility man, and they've kept alive their nomad, which is their flank watch, the flex player that's going to be contributing from that front. So obviously they've all got different priorities, different ways of playing, but as I say that, the nomad goes down and your flank watch isn't going to be very good when there's a guy on the flank getting kills.
No, indeed, that's certainly not ideal, and it leaves us in a 2 versus 2 situation. But still, Native downstairs, however, does manage to return back upstairs from the northern stair side of the building. But this way, it's now 2 versus 2, and therefore he's playing inside. Just a little bit of the HP disadvantage there on the side of Adjumeister, the Finka. And this brings us to 2 versus 2. But Natives gets a kill there on Jutz. It might just be possible here for the side of Eagle Empire. Only the Nomads left, the Finka left standing in this 1 versus 2. Will be able to do it.
I think it's going to be 1 HP, but I'd say it doesn't matter. She's got no adrenal surges left. She's going to be peeking through across onto the breach, but Nat's going to be there to deny it completely as he takes a peek, gets some bullets, and that's not exactly the first thing you want for breakfast, is it?
No, certainly not. And after the terrible first half for Eagle Empire, it really seems like the defense is working out much better for them. 2 rounds now in a row. They're still 2 rounds behind their opponents because it's a 5-3 score. But if they continue as they do, they might be able to turn things into 5 versus 5, equalize the score, and still have an opportunity and a very good chance to still win this match for now. But for now, we will be going to a new bomb site, Aviator Games, a bomb site we haven't seen from Eagle Empire yet, as far as I'm remembering. No, we didn't see it yet, and we're now going here for the first
Real.
teams.
Yeah, real. We haven't seen it from Eagle Empire yet, I don't think, because they went kitchen first and they went into trophy second. So now we're going to be watching them on this Aviator Games room site. They've brought along the Azami, so I'm expecting to see either some sort of extension using her keeper barricades over on the trophy side, which seems to be what they're going for, or a steady hold, or maybe both, depending on what she decides to go for later on in the round. But as we are getting a lot of things set up around the 90 Corridor Trophy statue area, we are going to be seeing a lot of these players hang around there, and a lot of these attackers spawning around there as well. So, with the way things are postured up, it looks like we're going to be trying to make their way through on the attacking side into the closet, the same way as Skittles did before, and get their way all the way through into bedroom. If they're able to get into bedroom, they're going to be able to take control of the statue area, but jumping through, not seeing the frost mat, or seeing it and not shooting it, is going to be the Ash. And I mean, on both sides, that is a rookie mistake and also an ungettable pick.
Yeah, another pick that is gettable is a Rush that gets the kill there on Fazon, still playing outside of Master Bedroom, a very sneaky angle from Rush, all the way from Study, taking out the player, and Ashut is now making his way towards the Ash. He will go for the revive, reactivate his player, re-able the Ash to continue playing, but of course the bit of damage is already done, only 20 HP remaining for the Ash, which will be very crucial later on, if she will end up in a gunfight. One bullet will easily take her out, and therefore the gunfight, the chances to win a gunfight for her will be much more slim.
Swapping mags.
Yeah, very much the case. But something that I will say is, realistically, that kill should have been confirmed. The only reason it wasn't confirmed is because the players had that bedroom door castled off. And that bedroom door being castled off meant no one could rotate through Astro, because there was the player on the Astro window, and nobody could rotate through bedroom door in order to peek and get that pick, because it was castled off. And then the reinforcement over the head holes that usually exist in the place of the first from the left wall in Trophy meant that they couldn't peek it through there either. So it was a little bit of a unfortunate situation for them, but now they've got to deal with this Jaeger and Study, as they do rotate themselves all the way around.
Yeah, indeed. And the Jaeger, exactly the one you're talking about, gets the first kill, takes out Ajomaister. The Sledge who was accompanying Jutz. Jutz is still playing there through some of his ace charge. I'm not sure in what extent they hit the target. Yes, they did. Although they were thrown very low, it's not an ideal hole to enter from, but it will still give him a bit of line of sight towards the Aviator, and potentially even a little bit of the vault, which will make things a bit more difficult for the defenders to play there. More ace charges coming out will open up the wall even further, create new lines of sight and entry points for the attacking team. There's a player right behind it. I'm not even sure who it is. It might just be Nate. I'm not entirely sure, but Zeri player was later. Finds shoots, takes him out, gets almost a second. Yes, he does get the second. That's the Ash taken out as well, leaving Shredder all alone. Finds one, takes out Zeri, but in the end, Solar, the final kill, wins out the round for the team. That's another round going to Eagle Empire, putting the score on 5-4, and with that, just one round behind on their opponent.
I'm telling you, man, 70% defender sided. That's shooting up to like at least 90 after this match, with what we've seen so far.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, it's been indeed 5 + 3. Yeah, that's another 8 defensive rounds versus only 2. No, only 1 attacking round. Yeah, only 1 attacking round so far.
Yeah, we are currently over 70% defender sided, slightly over. But at the moment, as I said, my prediction was that Eagle Empire wins 7-5. It's currently 5-4. Eagle Empire are on a comeback, and
you might be right.
It's definitely looking possible.
Surely, it's still possible. Eagle Empire is on a good track. They've been able to win 3 rounds in a row so far. You just need to add another 3 to win this match with a 5-7 score. So it's definitely possible. There's still a bit of work to be done. But as they now won 3 in a row, we're going back to the same bomb site where they started on their defense. And at that time, the round was rushed by their opponents. The question is, I don't think they will. They were thinking about it. You do see the blitz there being, like, potentially being picked by scripts, but in the end, they go for a bit more of a normal approach. And we likely won't see the aggression that we saw 3 rounds ago.
Yeah, definitely going to be a different strategy because they're bringing along the IQ, the Dekebi. Dekebi can be one that you bring along for some sort of rush play, but obviously opting against it this time because the operator lineup they have is very different and very wrong for that sort of play style. Instead, they're going to be going for a top floor clear, starting from the study side. Moving through into AV, they're going to try and take control of the bedroom side from over this side, because if they take complete control of the top floor, they're able to know for a fact that there isn't going to be any flankers. And any flankers that do come around, they're going to have setups for. So, as they're moving through, they're going to be trying to take the engagements through the statue door and also through the trophy door over towards Astro. As you see, he manages to find one. He sees the Solace over on the bedroom side and decides he's going to try and make his way over there. His presence is known as he drops down a beautiful kill from Gold.
Yeah, just falling apart for Eagle Empire. Also, Zeri is being taken out. It's a 5 versus 2 situation with just Rush and Solos left standing. Things do not seem to be going their way. Castle Barricades even taken out as the defenders were trying to fall back and just leave lots of holes in the defense here, which will make things very difficult. Still 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock, which is plenty of time. There's still a buck alive. We can easily make verticals. There's plenty of hard breaching charges. So playing on side for Solos and Rush will even become more difficult as the time progresses.
Definitely looking scarier the longer it goes on, as now we're going to be seeing the Solace make her way through. She's managed to get out onto the flank and no one really knows. She's going to be getting an angle onto IQ, manages to find that frag and runs straight out. Tries to get away as quickly as possible. If she takes a re-peek up the stairs, she could lose her life, but she's going to be making her way down. Takes an engagement against the Ace and isn't able to find it, as now it's going to be the final remaining player on the Mute. The Mute gets found by Gold, and that's going to be another round for Kanji, thwarting the comeback from Eagle Empire.
Yeah, 3 rounds in a row. That was all that Eagle Empire was able to set down as a streak, and unfortunately that streak now has been broken. Even more unfortunate for Eagle Empire means that this is now a 6-4 score, meaning that Kanji is now on the match points, and it's a bit of a tough position for Eagle Empire to be in. This means that the upcoming 2 rounds needs to be won by Eagle Empire to turn things into 6-6 score, where they still will be able to have a chance to go for the win and still earn 2 points in the overtime. But for now, they are in a tricky situation and cannot afford any further losses, as they will then miss out on the points they're looking for.
Yeah, as you said, the points they're looking for are going to be a bit difficult to come by if they're not going to be able to win these 2 rounds. And, well, at the moment, they were looking super duper strong, but coming into that last round, they're just looking a bit weaker. They've managed to get picked apart, isolated, and brought into this position where they're just,
10 seconds left.
well, unfavored. So we'll have to see how Eagle Empire decide to play this coming into the...
Yeah, indeed, and this is the second time we will be playing on this bomb site, and we do see a bit of a repeating strategy here from the side of Eagle Empire. It might be just almost the same or pretty much 100% the same. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems very repetitive. Last time, again, it was Kanji rushing this bomb site. They were thinking about it once more. We did see the Blitz, etc. being locked in for a little bit of a time. In the end, they were switched for a bit more reliable operators. But again, it's Kanji. However, they still do seem to be pretty aggressive for now on. They likely will be checking for Frost Trap, although there's no Frost Trap, no Frost Break this time. But it's really up to Kanji, because this might become a very quick round if they continue to play this aggressive.
At the moment, they've got this Ash playing around in closet. More than likely, they're going to be trying to get themselves moved up into bedroom so they can contest directly into sight, but it's looking a bit harder. It's looking to get harder and harder as the round goes on. The IQ going to be making our way underneath, making our way onto the Astro stairs, trying to see if there's anybody going to be flanking, trying to come up from behind from the basement area. But it's going to be Skittle over on landing, who is going to be playing in the sort of main flank. And obviously with this player on the window above Astro, they're not going to be able to find anything. And, well, another player falls as the Alpha tries to come up from basement.
Yeah, and as Golden gets another kill on Zeri. That's the Echo taken out. One of those operations you don't like to lose this early on. And again, Eagle Empire finds himself in a 5 versus 3, but luckily managed to get a kill there on Kolji, on Gold. It's 4 versus 3. 3 versus 3. As gets another kill there on Fazon. This makes things a little bit plausible here for either side. But as long as it gets another one, it's a kill there on Scripps. This is exactly what Eagle Empire is looking for at the moment. And again, they find another one. It's all coming out of Ajamite. The IQ playing in Astronomy gets one, but then gets taken out by Solars. That means Eagle Empire adds at least one more round to the board, turn things into 6-5. And while still their opponent on the match points, they are one step closer and just need one more round.
This right now is the perfect time for Kanji to pause.
Yeah.
If you wanna hold Eagle Empire hostage and stop their momentum, now would be the perfect time. You're 6-5, you're around in the lead. Talk about your strategy. Talk about what you want to do. Because if you don't, it's now or never. You're gonna go into overtime, you're gonna sacrifice points.
Defenders protect.
No, indeed, this is a very important moment, but in the end, Kanji doesn't call out a timeout. It's in general something I do not see that often, unfortunately. I would like to see those timeouts used a little bit more often. It's something that either teams don't seem to be caring about enough, or that teams are just not used to really be using it. I mean, it's still a feature that only has been around for, is it now 4 seasons? I'm not entirely sure, but either way, it's something that we don't see getting used too often. And for now, the match will just continue. One potential final round. I mean, this could be the final round if Kanji managed to win it. But at the same time, Eagle Empire has been doing very well on the defense. Won 4 out of 5 rounds. I bet they're looking to add another one and turn things into a 6-6.
And, well, coming into this potential final round here, match point in favor of Kanji, as now they're going to be bringing along the Ying.
Yeah.
And Ying is one of those operators where you can play her quite tentatively, you can play quite slow, and then use her for an execute later on in the round. But more than likely, and the way she's usually played in these situations, is they are going to play around these default operators. They're going to set up and then immediately guns are blazing. They're not looking for kills right now. They're looking for positioning and they're looking to be ready to get an execute on the go. They're not looking for any kills. If they find them, cool. But
at least
all they want is positioning.
Yeah, and indeed, it seems very likely, especially since Eagle Empire is focusing so much on the extension to the north. If they're putting so much resource on the north, why even go there? You can just completely ignore it as long as you can just go from the study side. And that's indeed what the side of Kanji is looking for. Candelas and etc. are being thrown out, smoke canisters coming out. It is the moment they've been looking for. The player on the stairs is being locked in right from different angles, but in the end does manage to make it out. And as gets the first kill there on Ajo Meister. It's the Ying be taken out, and the aggressive rush of Kanji, or at least aggressive push of Kanji, is getting a little bit slowed down from here.
Yeah, and if you're a Kanji fan, this is not what you like to see. Gold has taken a little bit of damage. Yes, the Jaeger of Rush is going to be very low on HP, but Aljo going down, it's going to be their top fragger for the game so far, and realistically, if you want to play a down, it's going to be a player like him. As they're moving in through the rest of the round, they're going to be very, very unsure of the way they want to play. They're going to be pushing into each other. This Pulse and Yana going to be taking a bit of an engagement. The Yana manages to win it out in the end, which is very good for his team, equalizing the player count, but also giving them an advantage on health. As I say, that Skittle comes down the red stairs, manages to find a kill onto Scripps, and now it's going to be a bit more favorable for the side of EE. I say that. But FaZe manages to find another one, and it's just going back and forth as these players are just wanting to try and take as many engagements as possible now. They've lost their execute potential.
Yeah, it's the story of this match, things just going on and on, switching sides continuously, and that's exactly what's happening in this round. With 40 seconds remaining, just very little time remaining for the attacking team of Kanji to still make things work. The time slowly is starting to work in the advantage of the defending team, as they can just let the attackers walk towards their crosshairs, and it's going to make things very difficult. However, Gold finds Natix, takes him out, makes things very possible, because it is now 3 versus 2, and this way the Ace is able to relocate himself behind the bar, trying to go for the plant, as fast as they can all coming down the frost in this 3 versus 1 post-plant situation, which is going to be a hell of a job to clutch out.
As you say that, he pops up from behind the bar, or it doesn't pop up, tries to take the engagement against the Yana through the breach and ends up losing it out, and that's going to be 7-5 in favor of Kanji. The opposite of what I predicted, but either way, it was a game to watch.
Yeah, indeed.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a beautiful match. I mean, so many players were expecting this match to go to Kanji like so damn one-sided. I mean, we can see it from the vote that happened, but in the end, Eagle Empire really put up a show. They really showed that they are actually getting much stronger as a team, as they have been able to probably been practicing behind the scenes a lot, and also been participating in different leagues as well. but unfortunately, they just didn't do good enough. They made a huge attempt for a huge comeback, but in the end, winning 4 out of 6 defensive rounds wasn't good enough, and caused them to in the end lose this match. So 7-5, beautiful way to open this evening. We got one more match coming up for you. Let's just quickly bring up the schedule again to see what we actually have remaining. So, of course, the first match for today was forfeited, as Team Synergy has been drawn basically from the tournament, as they basically forfeited every upcoming match from now on. And this just leaves us with one more match for us remaining for today, which is Pira by Mineshaft Esports versus Team Misclick. And I mean, just taking a look at the timer a little bit ahead of schedule, we're going to try to pull this match forward as much as we can, and hopefully we can be back in about 15 minutes or so. So just going to jump to a quick break screen, keep you guys updated through the Twitch chats. But for now,
See
see you guys very soon. Bye-bye. And welcome back, everyone. We're here for the final match of this third week of Group A. I'm still here. My name is Bozo Max, and I'm still here accompanied by the wonderful Nash, who's been here for the first time on ESA. Woo!
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very excited for this final match for today. It's gonna be Pyra versus Team Misclick. I mean, this is the final match for today, the second match for today, as the first one was forfeited. But this is a beautiful way to end the night once and for all. Because I mean, let's just quickly bring up the standings for these for Group A right now, so we actually get an idea what's the potential win or loss for these two teams could potentially mean. I mean, Pyra are currently on top of the group, and not even benefiting from the forfeit from Team Synergy. So they are in a very good position. Whatever happens today, even if they lose, they will still be the number one as Team Misclick. I mean, together with Kanji, as Team Misclick can only get to a total of 9 points maximum. But for now, yeah, both teams are doing very well so far. I'm just very curious on how this match could potentially go. Because, Nash, maybe you have something more to tell about what happened between these two teams in the past.
Well, these two teams have a bit of history. So first, let's just cover a bit of information about the two teams as individuals. Pira is a fairly new team. It's their first time playing in the ESA, and they're potentially one of the best teams that we have.
Yeah.
At the moment, they recently beat teams like Kanji. They've beaten Misclick before, and also Nightwolf. They've beaten two-time champion Entropy Gaming, and Pira has 14 recorded maps on Wikipedia.
Okay.
11 of which are wins.
Whoo, that's a percentage of?
Which is 78% win rate.
Okay.
It's a very, very, very strong, dominant team from what we know.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, because this is the first time that we're seeing like Pyra in general as a team that just basically came out of nowhere. I don't think they are fully new, but just within ESA they are new. We did see them a little bit in different competitions, but just wow, that's scary.
Exactly. Now, moving on to Misclick. Misclick is a lot more well known. They were the first in Group C in Season 5. They ended 9th to 12th in the lower bracket quarterfinals, losing against MVG. They ended 2nd in Season 3, 4th in Season 4, and have won 24 out of their 39 maps this year.
Okay,
which is a 61% win rate for the year.
Yeah, that's not terrible either. I mean, like Team Misclick has been around so long. That's why those stats have been cut down to just a year, because otherwise you would have basically 3 or maybe even 4 years of statistics, which is just too much to go from and might not be as reliable anymore. But okay, those two teams, I mean, beautiful stats. But just the thing that's worrying is their head-to-head, of course, because like these teams have been playing against each other. And basically every time Pyra has won. I mean, there was one BO3 where that team did manage to win one map, but as a BO3 you need to win 2, and that didn't happen. So that's a bit worrying for Team Misclick here.
Well, yeah, in the minds of a lot of people, experience means everything. But if you look at the sort of engagements between these teams that have been previously had, you can look at, for example, the best of 3 they played in Amnesty Tournament Season 2. They played Theme Park, Oregon, and Chalet, where Theme Park, the first map, was won by Misclick 7-1. Convincing.
Okay, yeah, that's
But then
good.
Oregon, the second map, was won 7-0 by Pira.
That's embarrassing almost.
Which is like a
Yeah.
complete flip, like
Yeah.
onto the opposite side of the tables. And then they ended up winning out Chalet 7-4, which is a little bit closer than the other two maps, but still like an unreasonable scoreline for two teams that have clearly gotten like a lot of strength behind them.
Yeah.
And then they had a game in the RSX Premier League Season 3 where they played Villa in a best of one and ended 8-7. So these teams are extremely evenly matched coming into this tournament, and it's going to be based entirely around who can play this map better, because neither team has been seen playing this map in a fashion that they've played against each other, nor to a team with the sort of capacity that the opposite has.
Well, talking about maps, let's just reveal the secret that we already knew, of course. But for now, today, it's indeed going to be Border. That's the map that Nash has been talking about. Border, a map that hasn't been played between these two teams yet, which is surely going to be interesting. If we then also look at the map bans, we can actually find some interesting information. Oregon banned on the side of Team Misclick, of course. There was the 7-0, what happened there. But on the side of Pera, the first ban coming from their side was Team Park, which made things very understandable why those two maps have been banned. So yeah, that's the bans for today. We're gonna go to Border, where it's gonna be Pyra on the side of defense, Team Blue, and Team Misclick as Orange team, starting on the offense. But this is the map that we're going to be playing for today. Also, to get a little bit of an idea what we can expect of this match. Again, we did do a Twitter prediction where like a nice number of people again casted their votes. So let's just see what the community is expecting of this match. So let the percentage come in. It's majority for the side of Pyra, 68% versus a 32% there for Team Misclick. Seems like that also maybe the viewers have been doing a little bit of their homework as well, has seen what happened between these two teams in the past. Very understandable, but also at the same time what I wanted to talk about earlier as well. Pyra, they won 2 times, I believe you said, against Team Entropy. And I mean, Entropy are two times in a row champion. Will mostly struggle at teams like Team Minions, which Pyra also managed to beat as well. It just makes me kind of a bit of a scared about what Pyra can actually do during the season. And I think we potentially have some finalist material here on the side of Pyra.
Yeah.
Of course, it's still a bit early, but I do think the chances are there that we at least see them to get a bit of in the top 4 at least. That's maybe a bit of my prediction if I'm seeing these statistics and these trends develop at the moment.
Well, would you like to make your prediction, and then I'll follow up with a very educated guess that I have.
Right. So I'm still going to go with the side of Team Misclick. The fact, like, if we look back at what happened in the past, there's still a very good chance. Border is a map that Team Misclick has been playing on like plenty of times, and Team Misclick generally is the more experienced team. And just given like the head of heads that it can really go either way, and sometimes it's really well matched. I'm just siding with the side of Team Misclick. I don't know about you.
So, with the notes that I have, something we will note is the fact that looking at the maps they've played Theme Park, where Misclick won 7-1.
Yep.
They've played Oregon, where Pyrrha won 7-0, and they've played Chalet, where Pyrrha won 7-4. Now, them maps in particular, or that specific selection of maps, Theme Park is extremely strategical. And Oregon isn't so much. It's a lot more about your gunplay. Everybody knows the position you're going to be playing, how you're going to be playing the map, etc., etc. And it's similar on Chalet. Chalet is a little bit more strategical because technically the map's still newer after the rework. Yeah. So people are still developing new strategies and still like creating these little things that people haven't seen yet, or experimenting with things that people haven't used yet. So looking at how those maps were played as a whole, I think coming into Border, with Border being a map that is one of two things, it is either it can be both, like it can be either, but it is always one of these two things. I think that if Border is played by these two teams as an aggressive sort of gritty gunfight map, which is what you see a few T1 teams doing in the PC scene, then I think that Pyrrha win this like easy. There is no doubt about it in my mind. I think that this just goes straight in their favor.
Okay, but, well. Oh, yeah, sorry.
if they do decide to play it as this more tactical sort of like have the Azami set up in CC, have the rotates going out into the 90 corridor, have the fountain rotate in order to be able to set up on the office side, even no matter what site you're on, even if you're on a bottom floor site, if you have all of these things ready and set up and they play it tactically on the defensive side, when Misclick are on the defensive side, because I forgot to check, but when they're on the defensive side, I think Misclick win this.
Okay, well, there's only one way to find out, so let's just jump straight into this game. The map border is loading in right now, and let's see whether this wonderful analysis of Nash is actually going to be right or not. Either way, one thing seems to be very sure, this match could become very, very close between these teams, and we'll find out very, very soon.
Indeed we will. Looking at the bans, I'm expecting, ESA, one that's very good for pushing that armory wall, taking advantages onto sites like Bathroom, the far side, the east side rush sort of plant area. I imagine we'll probably see like a wild one would be a Glass, but I'm imagining a Ying. I think Ying is most likely to disappear. And there's Ying. Coming into the defensive, I'll let you fire away. Who do you think will probably go missing?
Well, we earlier talked, Valkyrie is also one of the great operators on a map like Border, very commonly picked, and it was also introduced with the map, but like you said, Azami, Mira, there is going to be potentially the Solus, very likely with her high ban rate, but Mira, exactly one of those I mentioned. It's
the final ban is Azami or Solus. It's one of those two. It has to be. It's going to be Azami, Valk, or Solus, but Valk, realistically, info isn't as important as positioning. I think Azami is going to be a very big denier of positioning, but also someone that denies positioning that I didn't think was going to get banned was Fenrir.
Yeah, so, of course. The newest operator to the game, one that still like players need to get used to, but at the same time, some teams very likely have done their scrims, have done their trainings or whatever, and have found ways to play with Fenrir, or are just not comfortable against playing with him, and therefore he's a very understandable operator to be banned in this case. So those are the 4 operators we won't be seeing during this map, and as we know, we'll be starting with the first rounds. Let's start with this beautiful matchup. Pyrrha versus Team Misclick.
On both sides so far, I can see a very... it looks like potential rehost.
This is not right.
But from the operator lineup of the attacking side, if they decide to bring that coming into the first round of the rehost, I imagine this is going to be a very aggressive gunfighty map. And I think Pyrrha are going to be at a very big advantage coming into that.
Yeah, so apparently it has to do something with the ping of the players, that something was wrong there. So we're just quickly going to jump to a technical screen. Oh. And we're back. Operator pants already pre-filled, so that's something we won't see for the start of this match. The only thing we will re-see, or we'll see like again, is the operators being picked again. I'm not entirely sure to what extent the rule is that they need to pick the same bomb site and the same operators. It was something that they were talking about in the chat. Yes, I believe they indeed have picked the exact same bomb site and operators. Let's just double check it in a short moment.
Well, on the defensive side, the attacking side isn't restricted to that rule because of attacker rebit.
Of course.
Just to establish that a little more before people get worried that there's not a thinker on the attacking side.
Right.
But it looks like there has been a little bit of a switch up. They're bringing along the knock as like in favor of like the thinker, and also swapping out the. I think they had a Dekebi for the thermite. I don't quite remember.
Yeah,
Either way. With how they are at the moment, it looks like Misfit maybe want to try and force a bit more of a tactical, methodical playstyle. Whereas on the defensive side, you've got things like the Goyo for your tactical, methodical playstyle if they do adapt, or if they do need to adapt to it. But they've got things like the Mozzie, they've got the Jaeger, they've got the Wamai, they've got the Mute. Like 4 operators that can play reasonably aggressive without major contention.
Yeah, indeed, and as the rounders have started, attacks are making their way towards the building. Rise is just throwing sneaky Wamai disc right outside of the building in case anyone would like to throw a projectile towards him or towards the wall. Termite, however, has been picked, so if an Ace would have been picked, the Wamai disc would have been more effective. But for now, it might just be other projectiles like any grenades or whatsoever. Well, for now,
at the moment. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the moment, it looks like there's a little bit of an engagement going on between this Yana and the Wamai. There's going to be some contention, but Lion isn't heard coming in from behind. Solo manages to find one more onto Sushi, and now we're going to be looking like we've got a bit of an advantage on the side of Misclick.
Yeah, a bit of very, very aggressive start from the defensive side of Pira. Unfortunately, not working in their favor, especially as Mozzie is trying to find someone with C4, but doesn't know there's anyone in this area. But at the same time, there's Solo playing here still outside. Getting a kill, but that Goldsky getting taken out by the nade. What happened? Will does make things a bit right by taking out one of the defensive players, and then the Spirit one player on the Goyo getting a kill, turning things in 1 versus 3. But Will is going for the defuse.
Attackers activating diffuser.
Well, in the end, he does. It's a 1 versus 3 situation. The diffuser on the floor. He finds one. That's the Termite being injured. But the question is, will he be able to go for the defuse? No, he cannot. Eternal is extremely close by. Finds the Goyo, takes him out, and secures his first round for the side of Team Misclick and puts the score on 0-1.
Yeah,
right.
1-0 in favor of Misclick. They played the methodical style. They tried to get the breach open. Didn't really work. They ended up finding frags in CC, which allowed them to push forward quite aggressively, and they made their way into Armory, got the plant down, and it was pretty much curtains from there. That's pretty much all there is to say about that. But as we move into round number 2, it is looking a little bit more sort of defensive on the defending side. Obviously, that is what they're aiming for, but they've got a player like Sushi on the Capcan. They've got, they're bringing along the Goyo, and everyone else is relatively on the same setup, including the Goyo. So it's like you've got these players playing the same roles as they were before. This time you're opting away from, I can't remember what operate they brought. Mute? Yeah, Mute in favor of Capcan. So you're opting away from the intel denial in order to bring in the potential defensive positioning denial.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, indeed, and just repicking the same bomb site, there's no trouble in that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can just easily improve on your mistakes, learn from your mistakes, analyze how Team Misclick got the upper hand, and if you just be able to analyze that well and find a solution to that, you should be fine on your second attempt. So we'll see how things go. We'll see how Pyra will be potentially doing better. I can imagine they won't be playing as aggressive as they used to do in the previous rounds, but we'll see. Oh, this could be interesting.
It could be very interesting. The Sledge has opened up a hole for himself to be able to make his way into detention if need be. And the Mozzie's going to be peeking out, finds that frag, and that's going to be perfect for him. Decides to retreat as far away as possible, and that's going to be exactly what they're looking for. Yasuke manages to find one for himself onto the 1 so that's going to be less of those 1 discs being played out as it is active utility, but the wallbang comes out from Sushi, managing to find that frag as well, and now this player in CC is a lot more content with this position as Mozzie makes his way back to site.
Mozzie's back inside, and it's now 4 versus 2 situation. Things not going as well for Team Misclick as they did the previous rounds, and in a clear man disadvantage. Termite and Eternal Nook still available. They need to do it for the team. Need to get the 1 kill each to bring it back to a 2 versus 2. And Termite still having plenty of utility. He could open up this wall to make things a bit more possible for him, but the Mozzie is playing right very close at the door. He gets found, however, again playing very aggressive there onto the Pyrrha, not working an advantage. And just like I said, 1 kill each will bring things to an equal 2 versus 2. And therefore, both teams are still in a pretty good position for now.
Yeah, you're going to be getting a little bit aggressive over towards the mini office side. Gets a beautiful wallbang onto the thermite. Tries to shoot the dead body as it's falling. Notices the knockout side. And now it's going to be a little 1v1 as he finds the wallbang again. Sees him, spots him out, pulls out the pistol and finds that frag. As now it's going to be 1-1. They've managed to win out the armory site the second time around, and they're going to be moving down into the lower floor.
I'm just quickly gonna pause around because apparently there are a bit of issues with some skins that have been selected by one of the teams that are unfortunately breaching the rules. So we're just quickly gonna let the moderators or the board members figure out what to do with this case, and hopefully we can have a conclusion very soon. Resume the match or do a quick rehost if needed. So just really quickly waiting for the conclusion of that. But for now, we have 2 beautiful rounds to talk about, which went to 1 team each, and. Even though it got very close towards the end, it is Pyra securing that first round and turning things into 1 versus 1. 1-1 score, I mean, sorry.
Well, I feel like the entirety of the first round, as much as they found frags and things like that, it was one of those rounds where they tried to play it methodical. They tried to force people out of positions, which they succeeded in doing, and then found frags that way in CC. And that's something Misclick did in round 1. But then in round 2, they weren't able to find those frags because these players were a lot more disciplined on the side of Pyrrha, and they were sticking to their positions. And because they were sticking to their positions, they were playing less aggressive peaks, and they were playing less aggressive spawn peaks, that sort of thing. They weren't really able to find as many. So when they were isolated, or when they were putting themselves in positions where they were like around soft walls, around certain positions where they're going to be holding in default positions, they just got themselves caught out. And like I said, Jaeger found the wallbang onto Thermite just by lining his gun across the wall. And it's like, if you're going to be looking at situations like that where they're just finding them more and more and more and more, it's just going to be a complete whitewash from Pyrrha. I think Misclick need to really put something into place here in order to fix the general sort of misplay that's going on with them playing this very gunplay and aggressive style. Instead, I think they need to try and force the opposite way around that Pyrrha have been doing, because Pyrrha have been forcing this aggressive style, whereas I think the side of Misclick need to brute force this more methodical style in order to be able to do something like this.
Yeah, indeed. As we're still waiting for a conclusion of the board members to do with these forbidden skins that have been picked, we're just quickly gonna jump to the rehost technical issue screen, so we don't need to stall forever. But hopefully, we will have a conclusion very soon, and we'll keep you guys updated through the Twitch chat whether it's gonna be an actual rehost, which will take a little bit extra long, or whether we're gonna resume very soon. So a quick pause here, and hopefully we'll be back soon. Bye bye. Okay, and we're back. We had to do a quick rehost here, as in the end, indeed, a rule was breached by Team Pira. They had some skins enabled, which are against the rules, and for that reason, the last played round, which was actually before Reus, which was won by Pyrrha, has been given to Team Mystic as compensation for that, and that was Armory Lockers once more. So Pyrrha going to Armory Lockers for a third time now, technically. I mean, given the fact that they did kind of win a pre-rehost, makes a bit of sense for me to just do the third time anyway.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, everything is possible, and it will be a hell of a story there for the side of Pyrrha if they manage to just make the comeback and kind of show that the protest doesn't have any impact. But at the same time, Team Misclick is completely in the right to call it. I mean, especially some skins can be very difficult to see, also on a map like Border. And I mean, rule is a rule, so there's nothing wrong with the choice of Team Misclick there.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that Pyrrha could be very dominant coming into the rest of this game. As I said, if they keep playing this brute force style, it could go very bad for them. And as I say that, they try and brute force their way onto the balcony window and end up getting shut down and punished. Monty's going to be rappelling up onto the armory balcony, going to be potentially trying to make his way through onto the armory door, but with these head holes in position for the Mozzie to play around, it's going to be a little bit scary for him to put his back to either one of these walls.
Yeah, both Mozzie and the Kaid have created a very smart setup here, making it very difficult for the attackers to get control. But as you speak, Solo does get a kill on Shishu. That's the first kill there on the side from the attacking side towards the defender side. But Fenno gets another kill there on the internal, and Gonski gets a kill on Fenno. It's just going on and on. It's a 3 versus 3. The Goyo looking for finding any player there inside of CCTV, but gets found by Will, gets taken out. 2 versus 3. Team Misclick in the lead in the man advantage at the moment, but need to be very careful because the defenders are getting close to them and are very hungry for those kills.
Definitely so. We do have the Wamai over by Fountain side, and they are going to be rotating themselves through IT, through CC. As now they're going to be making their way over towards the fountain door. They have the Monty over there, and they have been seen on the camera with at least 2 players, potentially third if they saw the guy who was on East Stairs that rotated all the way around outside. But now we have these players going to be posturing themselves up inside of office, making their way through onto fountain, making sure to check the corner just to be sure that there's no player going to be hanging around. They know this Monty's going to be hanging about on this corner, but they're really just trying to get any sort of engagement against these players that they can. They have a player on the east side door, nearly able to find someone there as the Thermite takes the peek onto fountain, but nothing really going on right now. Rise is going to be going for a long rotate over on the balcony and potentially seeing if he can find any angle onto any of these players. Going to be coming in from behind now, taking the engagement with Thermite, whiffing a little bit and ending up on the back foot, as now they find the kill onto the Cade as well, and that's going to be another round. 3-0.
3-0. Yeah, 0-3 as it's shown on the scoreboard in the favor of Team Misclick. A round that seemed to be going pretty well for Team Pyrrha, but in the end, as they went inside to try to go for the plants, just the contesting of the as soon as the attackers made their way inside of the bomb site, it got a little bit difficult, especially with a Monty with a shield on his back who was going for the plants. It was just a little bit too difficult to contest. And, yeah, that's Team Misclick with another offensive round win. That's 3 on the boards. Team Pyrrha, it will be a good moment for them to start winning some rounds as well. Otherwise, it will be a bit difficult for them going into the roster later on.
Yeah, right now on the defensive side, they're opting to bring the Echo, which is, I mean, as I said, another operator that is very, very good at slowing the pace of the game. One that you want alive in the later stages of the round, and more than likely that means they're playing as a team in order to favor this last 20-second execute that is like the utility meta sort of style. So they're going to be burning utility using the mute jammers, using the Wamai discs, using the shield on the Frost, using the Frost mats, etc. Just to try and like waste as much time as possible in order for them to have to rush for this plant and try and really, really like force their way through. But with the way that Misclick have been playing, they've been playing the complete coin flip style that I was talking about. I said that there was going to be an aggressive style coming out of Pyrrha, and I said there was going to be a conservative style coming out of Misclicks, but it's the other way around so far.
Yeah, indeed. Even though Pyrrha has been doing very well, they have been getting very close various times. They just haven't been able to win those first and last round that we just saw. Konski, meanwhile, making his way to the west balcony, getting damaged a little bit right there. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, or probably there on the rappel as he was trying to contest Jill. But for now, he's still in the play and can still do some damage.
They have managed to get a drone onto the Echo. They know where he is. He's going to be postured up around top metal. And with the buck in CC, he's going to be very pressured now as he does decide to back himself off, jump down into the metal corridor and make his way back towards the site.
Yeah, currently every single defender has fallen back downstairs as things were just getting a little bit too hot. Very understandable, but the pools is one of the defenders the attackers still need to be very worrying about. He might not be playing upstairs anymore, but he is still having the scanner in hand. Can easily gather information and potentially throw C4 or give some calls to his teammates. And that's one big issue for the attack team, especially as they haven't bought any IQ or whatsoever to find him.
Yeah, an angle coming out from the Wamai onto the Diana, but unable to find it on either end, as these players take a little bit of a scuffle, but nothing really too major. They take a little bit of an engagement from the upstairs. Oh, it wasn't Diana that was outside, it was Lion, I think. But it looks like they managed to find a frag anyway, and once downed, it is going to be the Jackal. So, as they do manage to get the revive on him, they are going to be back in a 4v4 situation. Very similar HP, but still extremely unfavorable on the attacking side. They managed to find one frag. They're going to be moving into the backward side of site, but the 3-armor operator that's going to be hanging around that area manages to find the frag onto him instead. And now these attackers are going to be just postured up in their positions, ready to take engagements. Buck's going to be outside the window. Lion's going to be outside the main door, and now they're going to be trying to fight out these players as best they can. They're not able to find any angles as of yet. Trying to get an engagement onto the Lion is the Frost. Takes an engagement running through the door, unable to find it, and now it's going to be the man on 1 HP left to clutch the rest of this round. He's going to be trying to take a peek onto main door through the Vents Workshop door, unable to find the frag, and Will cleans it up. Rises goes down, and that's going to be round number 4 going in favor of Team Misclick.
Yeah, Team Misclick on a good run to make this this rematch between these two teams work in their favor. 2 times before they lost against Team Pyrrha, and for now they are on a very good track to actually finally collect some points in their favor. An 0-4 can easily still go either way. The best thing that Pyrrha can still do is to turn this into 2-4. But if Team Misclick continues as unstoppable as they seem at the moment, this could even become a 1-5 or even an 0-6. But let's not hope so, because I'm hoping for this close match. So I'm really, really hoping that Pyrrha will start winning their rounds right now before it's too late.
Yeah, Pyrrha really need to start putting rounds on the board. If they're going to do it, it needs to be now. If they're going to go into the attacking half with anything worse than a 4-2 split, they're going to be very, very, very scared. I can't imagine them coming out with a win if they don't get the next 2 rounds. Because it's going to be extremely unfavorable either way, because they're going to win the top floor site at least once.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and also one of the interesting things is that both teams seem to favor the side they're currently playing on. Pyrrha seems to be favoring the defensive side, while Team Misclick seems to be favoring the offensive side. So both teams should be really in their environment right now, in their favorite favorite roles, let's say like that. But for now, it's mostly working out for Team Misclick, not really for Team Pyrrha. But there's still chances. There's still 2 more rounds on the board, and just that Team Pyrrha will be able to wake up a little bit and get those rounds. And things are not starting the way they were hoping to, as Solo gets that first kill and already takes out the Warren very early on.
Yeah, it's not very favorable for them. They've played, including this round, they've played the second floor 4 rounds now out of the 5 that we are participating in. Yes, they've won 1, but they had illegal skins, so it's difficult to really say if they're actually going to be able to win this out once more. Sunzo manages to find 1 as he does die through the rotate, and now it's going to be a 3v4 situation where they were initially equalized in player count.
Yeah, Pyrrha
going to be droning through onto Fountain side. Sorry to interrupt you. Carry on.
No, excuse me, I was interrupting you in this case, but yeah, like I was about to say, Pyrrha just playing extremely aggressive, and for some moments it has worked, but I think in generally they have just been getting punished over and over by Team Misclick for those aggressive plays, and as another player falls to the side of Team Misclick, it's a 2 versus 4, and the aggressive plays is just not working for the side of Pyrrha. They die more often than they get some kills, and that's just something they really need to change. Because if they continue like this, just helping their opponent win these rounds as fast as possible.
Yeah, something I do say quite often about Siege is a very mental game. And in a situation like this, where you're down 4-0 and you're in a 1v4, it's going to be very mentally draining to be able to take this and try and make something out of it. He is going to be rotating out into 90 corridor to make sure he can try and get himself into a better position, but actually decides to come back. Finds 2 kills, 1 on the knock, 1 on the Yana, and it's only going to be the Thermite remaining as he is going to be opening the breach to try and give himself a little bit of an advantage. The Thermite charge goes off now, and he is going to be taking a little bit of an aggression. On that side. He is punching the door to see if he can get an angle onto the Wamai. Manages to swing round, and Will finds the frag. Rises, goes down, and that's going to be 5-0 so far.
Yeah, 5-0 in the advantage of Team Misclick. This might also be the first time I'm seeing a defuse being denied by a Termite's breaching charge. As the Wamai was thinking to go for the defuse, as the Termite ran away. But then, of course, the Termite charge would have very much damaged him, or potentially even taken him out, as he would have stacked. So a smart call for the Wamai to go off. But unfortunately, they're not being able to find the Termites. And therefore, the attacking side of Team Misclick winning 1 more round and turning things into an 0-5 in their advantage.
Exactly. We do see at the moment I'm going to be going for the top floor again, and
yeah,
this is round number 5 of the 6 that have been played.
No, 5.
Where they're going to be in the top floor.
This is the 5th, right? I mean, they played the first 3 rounds. Yeah, this is the 5th round on the top floor. They only play 1 alternative side, and I must say, I mean, Border. Like in the past, Stellar's bathrooms wasn't that great of a bomb site, but since the rework, this is a really commonly picked bomb site, and it's a great bomb site to be playing it. So the fact that Pyrrha isn't playing that bomb site either shows me that they just really don't like the other bomb sites, or they're just not prepared for it. That Border is a bit of a wildcard map. Not even wildcard, a bit of a maybe even a bit of a mispick in their case.
I mean, another thing that I'll bring up is the fact that even Customs and Supply is a good site. The only reason people have been opting away from playing it recently is simply because it's very similar to the CC cache site on Clubhouse. It's one of those sites. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what strategy you're going to be trying to go for. So it's like, it's still a favorable site. It just hasn't been played in a while because people are opting away from it. So it's like, they could have gone to this Bathroom Tellers. They could have gone to, which is the most favorable defensive site aside from top floor, by the way. Like, they could have gone for Bathroom Tellers. They could have gone for Customs. They could have gone for Vents, which is the tried and true. But instead, they're opting to go for this top floor again. They've already lost a man, and that man is the Echo, the one player that you want alive in the late round. They've managed to find 2 for themselves, which, yes, is very good, but still, also, you've only got these players with passive utility on the board. Obviously, one of the active utility, or one of the passive utility operators goes down, so not a real big loss. They managed to find a frag for themselves either way. And now it's going to be the Thermite and the Knock left to try and clutch things out together.
Yeah, indeed. And as the first half of the round is coming to an end, things are really falling apart for Team Misclick. It's finally Pyrrha who seems to be finding some success as they now find themselves in a 3 versus 1 with still half of the round remaining. It's all coming down to Eternal. The Nook who's currently playing downstairs still has 1 nade, does have drones as well, which can be used to gather information. And of course, his stealth ability will also be able to mask her position a little bit better. Which can create some surprising kills. And then she gets a beautiful, tiny angle kill that arises. She turns things into a 2 versus 1, which still makes it a little bit more possible.
Oh my god, that was very close. Not going to be rotating out into CC. She probably wants to try and take an engagement against this player that's going to be playing around Fountain. She knows that he's alone. And this Warden is going to be also aware of that fact. They've got pings on the location, not going to be trying to get aggressive through the corridor, but as she does, she gets peeked by the Warden, and Warden rotates through into east side of fountain, but loses his life. Now, a 1v1 situation, and a situation that looks so favourable for them. This 4v2 dwindled away, and now left to clutch and pick up the pieces is Carvana.
Yeah, with 20 seconds, the Knock must make a move as things don't work in their favor, and then yet it's a Jaeger finding Eternal, finally securing a round for Team Mystic right there, and turning the score into a 1-5, which now will go into the roll up, where it will now be Pyra on the offense, Team Mystic on the defense. And yeah, the question is, isn't it too late? Maybe the aggressive playstyle will pay off for Pyra once they're now on the offense. But yeah, just one round to go, and Team Mystic will be on the match point and 2 to close things out. So it's a tough position for Team Pyra to be in.
And something you may have already noticed, obviously, yes, attacker repick is in the cards, but they don't have a hard breacher.
Yeah.
They've switched the Dekebi onto the ace. Sushi going to be picking up the hard breach role. And it's a different style to the way that Misclick decided to play it. They decided to bring the Thermite every round. The Thermite, well, the argument versus the two is ace is a lot more versatile. But if you want a better breach that's easier to play around, you play Thermite. Because that's just how the operators work. Like, when it comes down to these two operators as a whole, obviously on the side of Pyra, they want the versatility. So they're bringing along the Hibana, switching away from the ace instead. Still a good hard breacher, but again, one that's very versatile, not one that is very good at opening up a wide-angled breach.
No, indeed. And as we now proceed here into the first defensive round of Team Mystic, we're finally getting to see a bomb site we haven't seen yet in those first 6 rounds. Believe it or not, we're going to the Tellers and Bathroom bomb site. A lovely one to be playing at. I mean, it's a great bomb site, especially since it has been reworked. And we're gonna finally see it in action. It really seems like Team Mystic really wants to keep down or keep control over the top floor, as it will be very powerful in the hands of the attackers, but at the same time they can defend the bomb site from above. But in the end, it's Pyra with the first opening kill. Sushi was taking out Komsky, the castle, which turns the favor towards Pyra very early on.
Will finds one. Ash going to be taking an engagement against the Goyo now as the Goyo peeks out of mini office. Ash doesn't take any damage, but Goyo has taken some instead. And now it's going to be the Azami to find the pick onto the Nomad. And in this 2v4 situation where they really don't want to lose, they have to rotate away in order to be able to actually get some sort of contention anywhere else.
Yeah, the top floor was absolutely one big death box there for Pyra, and for this reason they have made the call to at least go for a different approach. They still seem to want to be going for the top floor. I mean, an Ash and a Buck can do very well.
They have to get the diffuser.
And indeed, the diffuser has been lost upstairs. It might still be outside, though. I'm not entirely sure.
It is definitely outside.
Yes, it's still outside, so they don't necessarily need to enter the building for it. But like I said, those operators can be very successful together here above, and will have some opportunities together.
Yeah, the Ash going to be moving through into the archive side. As she's made her way in, she's going to be trying to maybe get a bit of contention from above inside of the offices. Now they know people have rotated back downstairs. Instead, not just instead, we have the Buck moving across to get the diffuser. And, oh, maybe not. Does he have the diffuser? No,
it doesn't seem like it. No, it's still there.
The diffuser's still down, so that it looks like they're probably trying to play off of some kind of pick advantage here. They managed to secure one. The Ash finding a quick and easy frag onto the Warden, as the Ash is now next to fall. It's a 2v1 situation here, as Sunzo going to be moving through towards Customs, trying to take this engagement against the player in the mini office, and manages to find that frag. The Solace going to be the last man standing as he does rotate out into waiting, and it's going to be a bit of a questionable engagement if he gets a wide peek onto him without him knowing. Rotating back through over by the castle barricade is the Solace, and they're just going to be trying to play ring around the rosy at the moment. He doesn't have the diffuser. He has to try and find out where the Solace is. He doesn't quite know, and he's not going to be able to find him. It looks like it's going to be around. It's so close!
You have run out of time.
Holy shit, that was the closest pre-fire I've ever seen, which potentially could have won the round, but unfortunately it seems like that desk is somewhat bulletproof, I think. I'm not entirely sure but unfortunately, no. It's Team Misclick winning another round and putting the score on 1-6.
I am bewildered.
Yes,
That engagement, that entire like 1v1 there was the most questionable thing on both sides I've ever seen.
yeah.
But it was so well played from the Solace.
Yeah, I'm very curious to what extent the operator solos actually played a role in this clutch situation, because I mean the diffuser was lost outside, so there was not really any good
Attackers
way
need to
for
locate
the
and
for the
defuse as
defending
many
team to
bombs
know
as they
about this,
can.
unless of course they have a Solus. The Solus can scan electronics, and the diffuser isn't electronics she can see. So maybe the Solus actually did play a role in this, and they continuously knew that the diffuser was outside. Potentially, it could be. We don't know for sure. But if that did play a role, then I think the members of Team Mystic played this out very, very brilliantly.
A little fun fact for anybody watching on the stream. As a Solace, you can see a downed diffuser. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be planted. So one bait play that
10 seconds to go.
attack-insided teams tend to go for is if they're playing against the Solace, they will drop the diffuser in order to emulate someone planting, especially if there isn't a pulse on the board.
Objective is to defuse
And then
the
when they
bomb.
go for the impact from below or above or wherever, they can be ready to take the engagement against that player without actually being in a position to plant the diffuser.
I must say that's a nice one. That's not one I've ever encountered before, but it does seem like a very, very nice and interesting strategy. Something else happening on the other side of the map currently. That's Solo. I believe yes, but it must have been Solo who went out for a run out. Did do quite a bit of damage there on the Thatcher on side of Pyrrha, but unfortunately not being able to get the kill, and therefore just doing a bit of damage, which is still a great thing for him.
Yeah, just a little bit of a scratch on the Thatcher, as now the Solace decides to rotate back upstairs towards where the site is. They have a few players playing around. Roses takes a bit of damage and ends up going down, but not out over by the ESA side.
No, indeed, the ESR side seems to be one of the focus points for the attacking team, but so far they are struggling to make their entry, as one of the players was taken out. Eternal, playing in a strong position, can use the Solo's utility to scan for the drones coming at him. At the same time, has this rotation towards the stairs and finds almost one, but that means it's Fano getting killed on Will, which brings the advantage there to the defensive side of, attacking side of Pyrrha.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Yeah. Thermite goes down on the top of the east stairs, and that's going to be a bit unfavourable, bit questionable, bit bad for their team, as he does get confirmed. Now it's just going to be the clash, the Solace and the Goyo now just clashing Solace in this 2v3. Solace going to be rotating through the site to try and take some sort of engagement against the player that Clash seems to be holding hostage, but as Clash takes quite a lot of damage and the Solace falls, it's going to be a 1v3, and unable to do any of the work needed is the Clash at hand. It's going to be a round for Pyrrha.
That is indeed a round for Pyrrha. It's a 2-6 situation. Still Team Misclick on the match points, but at least there's one more round on the board there for Pyrrha, which makes things a little bit more possible. They're still in a tough position. They still need 4 more rounds continuously from now on to win, if they still want to have a chance to win some points in the overtime to turn things into 6-6. But winning 4 rounds in a row without losing a single one is going to be difficult, but not impossible, because Team Misclick did the same.
Something I didn't establish at the start of this game is Border so far in the tournament, before any of these rounds are included, is a 70% attacker-sided match.
Ooh, okay.
With 27 rounds played, so a little bit more to go off of. So more than likely we could be seeing that come into fruition here, but in order for a comeback, Pyrrha need to win the next 4 in a row. And that's a bit of a tall order, especially for a team that had such a rocky start.
Indeed.
5 seconds
Yeah,
to go.
well, it's indeed a rocky start for Pyrrha, but it's still possible. They're now
Attackers' objective is to
it's now
locate a
Team
bomb
Misclick
and
going
defuse
to the bottom floor. It's another defensive round for them. Another chance for Pyrrha to have some success here on the offense. Solo, however, that's one they need to be very careful of. That he's continuously watching those those default cams, and no way, it's Fano who gets punished for not the cams being taken out in time, and that's already your Yana gun, a key operator, or at least a very valuable operator, as you can easily scout for information. Has a great gun and those nades, and has those what is it? As drones, her scouting ability.
The Gemini clone.
Yes, it's going to be very difficult to deal without her. Luckily, 2 kills from the side of Pyrrha makes things a bit more possible, as it's now 4 versus 3. But can still go either way.
The smoke was playing that angle towards CC, but ends up falling off. Yasuke manages to find one under Roses, and that is going to be the Ash going down. So 2 entry fraggers down, but you've still got your utility alive, and even though you've lost those entry fraggers, you're still able to do things more than just frag with the players that are remaining on the board. They've managed to find another pick to equal it out to a 3v3 and then one more to take it down to a 2v3, giving them the advantage on the side of Pirate. The C4 comes out, isn't able to actually get it off yet, and he is going to be proning with a shotgun on the floor. Buck doesn't realise, and that's going to be a free kill for him. He is 1 HP and has to take the engagement against 2 more players now, which is going to be a bit scary as he walks past the stairs and Sushi says hello.
Yeah, indeed, it's Pyra finally winning another round here, turning things into a 3-6 score. They're halfway to equalize things and turn things into 6-6, but there's still 3 rounds to go, which is still very tricky. At least they are on a good track. They have now won 2 rounds in a row. And, well, as they continue like this, their chances will continue to increase.
Yeah, as we move into the next round, they are going to be playing the same way, bringing along the same operator lineup, and I didn't see what site we're playing, but if we're playing the same site, it could be the same order that we had before. They aren't playing the same site. This time they're playing downstairs in the site that they have won on this defensive half. The only site they have won on this defensive half.
Correct. Yeah, it's a very understandable choice indeed. Like, this is the only one they have won, and it was a beautiful, beautiful round back then. But it could have turned out very, very differently. I mean, the members of Pyra got very close to clutching things out, and if they would have only have been able to retrieve the diffuser, or at least not die outside of the building, I think Pyra would have been in a very different, like, we would have had a very different outcome for that round, and Pyra would have potentially won that round back then. So also for Pyra, I think they can learn from their mistakes here and do stand a pretty good chance to potentially also win this one and add another one to their score.
Definitely, as we are looking at them come forward with the same operator lineup, only really swapping out 1. Oh no, swapping out 2. They swapped out the Yana for the Zofia, and they also swapped out the Thatcher for an IQ. So adapting a little bit to the site setup, obviously assuming that there's a Solace on side, which is the reason they've brought along this IQ. Alongside that, they've got themselves a little bit more of a setup coming into this top floor contention. Obviously, the Azami is still in play, so she is still able to posture up those keeper barricades and keep herself safe where needed.
Yeah, meanwhile, the castle rotating upstairs towards the Eden Center. Unfortunately, Lewis rises with the flick, takes him out with a headshot. Also, Will getting in loads of trouble, even getting taken out. And another one falls on the side of Team Misclick as Yusuke losing his life to the side of Fenno, I believe it was, Fenno. And this leaves us with a 5 versus 2 situations. Attackers are taking full side control, whereas Eternal gets a kill and rises. It's a 4 versus 2 with a beautiful shot indeed. And he might find another one as he finds Fenno. 3 versus 2. This could still be lost or won by Team Misclick in this case, but as the attackers have side control, they're just waiting for the ace. Again, the issue with the diffuser not being in the position where they needed to be, and this is like it's punishing them very much. Another one loses the life. It's all coming down to the IQ in this 1 versus 2. The diffuser has been lost as well. Will Team Misclick still be able to win this round, or will a miracle happen?
They have managed to take out that player. The last player dropping down the hatch is the the Warden. Warden going to be postured up in the shower area. IQ going for the diffuser, which is a smart play, as she is going to be making her way back over towards the corridor going up towards shower. She's just pre-firing along the way, seeing what and where she can find anybody. Aims over at the doorway, but unable to find it. Warden decides to drop off his angle just to see if he can keep himself safe. Takes a bit of damage both on either side. Sunso manages to win it out, and now we see a situation where Pyrrha are only 2 rounds away from taking this game to overtime.
Yes, indeed. It's getting so tricky between these two teams, so close between these two teams as we are now on a 4-6 score. That's 3 rounds on a row for the side of Pira. Just 2 more to go to equalize things and also have that 5-round win streak like Team Misclick had in the beginning of this match. The comeback of the ages, it would be if it happens. But before we reach that moment and before we can draw that conclusion, we still have 2 more rounds to go, and still 2 more rounds for Team Miscli to be on that
Attackers
on
need to
that match
locate and
point, and
defuse
2
as
more
many
rounds
bombs as
to
they
win
can.
out one of those to still be the victorious one. But I can imagine the temperature is rising on the side of Team Miscli.
Yeah, it's getting scarier and scarier on the side of Misclick now. They've managed to get this advantage so far, and now they're in a position where their first defensive round was the one that put them on match point. And they've lost the last 4 in a row, I think. Oh, their second defensive round, as we just saw from the scoreboard, was the one that they won.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
And now they've lost 3 in a row. And it's like, well, you're going to be scared. As I said, it's a mental game. The more they win, the more Pira are getting into the game and really like hyping themselves up coming into this because they know there's everything on the line. Like obviously, points wise they can still come back, that sort of thing. But if they want the points now, they are like throwing distance
Bomb located by
away,
attackers.
and they
Yeah,
know that.
Well,
And if Mistler aren't careful, they could be playing catch.
yes, indeed. And currently we're seeing a very aggressive round here for the side of Pira, already making very quick entry. And I think they're aware of so much presence towards the top floor. Fennel could easily reach open this wall towards the bathrooms bomb site and can easily get side control. However, one operator currently on the flank they need to be very careful of. And also as Will gets a kill or rises, it's the opening kill for the side of Team Misclick. And another one there on Fennel. Things are falling apart for Team Pira. A very good call to made to get this aggressive, but it's not paying off yet. But luckily, but he does get it first. Taking Konski, but immediately gets punished by a bit of damage there.
Takes a little bit of a damage from above, coming out from the hatch. Their diffuser still not in hand once again. Tries to get a pre-fire on hipfire is Warden as he does fall. And now it's only going to be Mozzie and the Wamai left alive in this 3v1 situation. Is the Wamai. He's going to be trying to take an engagement. Manages to get the kill on the Book, but unable to notice the IQ coming in from behind. And that's going to be another round to Pira. Pira are 1 round away from equalizing.
Is it really going to happen? This would be going down in history books, and also maybe perhaps being somewhat embarrassing, you could almost call it. But I'm surely gonna like call it if Team Pira will be able to win this. I mean, that protest that came from the side of Team Misclick, I mean, that's something they're gonna be hearing of. Because in the end, it wouldn't have made any difference back then. But still, it's Team Misclick on the match points. Still 1 last round to make it happen, to avoid this match from going to overtime. Like Team Misclick, the match point, they have it, so they will at least earn 1 point, whatever happens. Because I mean, if they go to team overtime and they lose the overtime as well, they will still have that 1 point. But if they win this potential final rounds, they will still earn all 3 points, and Pyra will then go home without any.
Yeah, at the moment we've got a battle. Everything is on the line here as we see this round is the second most important round aside from the final one. This round
10 seconds left.
is important to both teams. It's important to Pira because if Pira win this round, they secure some points. And it's important to Misclick because if they lose this round, they lose out on their full 3 points. And instead drop down to at most 2.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in this position now where both of these teams are balls to the wall. They are going to be putting everything on the line as they come into this round, and it looks like Pira want to take it just as fast.
Yeah, indeed, Pira still on the offense, and so far the offense has been working very well for them. 4 rounds on a row, going to their side, going in their favor. It's very possible that they will secure another one. There was a very close encounter by the Buck on the upside down rappel. Could have easily found the aggressively playing defender on the bomb side. I believe it's the castle was being played there. Yeah, this is the castle indeed. But for now, the engagement is still avoided.
diffuser is going to be all the way in on this archive side. Ends up falling, but deals quite a bit of damage to the Wamai. Unfortunate that he is unable to find that kill for him, but actually the book coming in. Kavanagh manages to get one, and now it's going to be a bit of an engagement between him and the Wamai. It's equal out to a 3v3, but another kill coming out with the C4 is going to make it a 2v2 now as IQ finds one.
And this is an incredible round, which is going one way or another. It's just going from one side to another. It's only coming down to Fenno, who is inside, but again, we have that problem with the diffuser. It's in that similar position where we have seen it before, and therefore he cannot go for the defuse. A very unfortunate position. He could have turned all of the time remaining into his advantage, but unfortunately he cannot do so yet. He either needs to get some kills, take out the two remaining defending players, or retrieve the diffuser, and I think it's just one of the players just quickly gonna check if the diffuser is still there. I guess the defending team is aware of its position, and this is just putting Fenno in such a difficult position. He needs to retrieve the diffuser or get 2 kills if he still wants to win, because otherwise Team Misclick is gonna take the win here.
He sees the player he sees the doorway where the Wamai is going to be holding on to. They know he's going to be going onto this balcony, and if he's not there on the pre-aim, he's not going to be finding it, and he might even lose his head. Going to be moving over towards the top east stairs is going to be a sledge, and both of these defending players going to be dropping off. He hears it, he drops down as well, and it's going to be a loss. Team Misclick winning out the match, winning out 7-5. That's it. Close curtains, done.
What a nerve-wracking match this was. A very hard-fought victory here by Team Misclick with a 5-7 score in their advantage. Beating Pyrrha in a very close matchup, a beautiful rematch between these two teams, but in the end, only one team can be victorious, and that is Team Misclick. What a match this was. Like I said, a nerve-wracking match between these two teams. These teams seem to be so well matched. Historically, if we look at the statistics from different competitions or like previously matches, but again, this match proves it all. These two teams are very well matched, are very good teams as well, and I cannot wait to see them again in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah, me too. Looking at how they played, there's going to be a lot to study, a lot to work on for both sides. On their defensive sides, they did seem to struggle. So more than likely, we are going to be seeing like a much stronger version of both of these rosters coming into the rest of this tournament, as them playing against each other now has really put things to the test.
Yeah, because this is only the third week for this group. It's Monday, so this is the third time that the Group A is playing. After this, there will be 2 more weeks for them to play in, so enough time to still secure further points. But I can really see both of these teams make it into Stage 2, where we will have like the Swiss formats. And there's a great chance that we will see these two teams meeting each other there once more time. Because, of course, the groups is single round robin. So there's only one time they will be competing there against each other. But there will be more opportunities for them. Well, for now, that is enough for today. We will have another, of course, Group B coming up on Wednesday, which is in 2 days from now. Let me just quickly bring up the information on which matches those actually are. I'm quickly checking. Yeah, I got it here. It's going to be E-Wave versus Empire, Minions versus Nemesis by Nightwolves, and Team Cook versus Disco Pogo by Votem. So 3 beautiful matches coming up on Wednesday. I believe I will be there as well, with one of our German casters, I believe. I'm not entirely sure of the schedule. But either way, I hope to see you all back on Wednesday. But for now, I want to thank you, Nash, for accompanying us for the first time today. It was a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful experience to guest with you. And I hope to see more of you in the future as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, for now, I want to thank everyone for participating, for viewing. And we'll hope to see you all in the near future. So bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Bye.